Welcome to the channel, welcome to the vlog. You're watching HQ Garage. Yes, there has been a name change to the channel, and if you've been following my Instagram, you've probably realized by now that I've sold my F80 2018 M3. It's been a long time coming for making this video. I apologize for the lack of videos. Took a break after I sold the car and just wanted to take some time to reflect and just remember all the good times with the car. I did decide to sell the car. I just figured I originally would put it up for sale on Kijiji and Facebook Marketplace and just see what happens. I had it listed for a few weeks on Facebook and Kijiji, and a guy from Toronto actually reached out to me and he was extremely interested in the car. He had an M4 at the time and his wife was pregnant and he was looking for a four-door. Obviously, the same reason I have a four-door, because I have two kids myself and it just makes it a whole lot easier getting in and out of the vehicle. But long story short, he offered me a very good price on the car, but he wanted it completely stock. I really didn't want to return it back to stock, but he made me an offer I really couldn't refuse. I reluctantly stripped the car completely down, took all the suspension, the wheels, the carbon fiber bits, everything I put on the car, I basically all took off in one weekend. It was quite the process. Wasn't fun, didn't enjoy it, kind of broke my heart, but at the end of the day, I originally purchased the car from the BMW gallery for $65,000. I enjoyed it for a year and a half, modified it, made it my own, made it look super stunning, took it to some car shows, and then basically returned it to the day, same way that the day that I bought it, and sold it for $68,500. Never in the history of my life have I ever heard of someone buying a car and then reselling it for more than what they paid for it. Typically it's vice versa. You normally lose money on cars, but the market's just been so crazy right now that it was a good time to sell. On top of that, I also made the adult decision that spending $1,100 a month for a car that I only drive 5 months out of the year, because as you know, I am from Calgary, Alberta, Canada, and I maybe could have put winter tires on the car and drove it all year round, but to me it didn't make any sense to beat up such a nice car with all the rocks and stones and everything they put on our roads, that it would just, the car would have got trashed. So now I'm saving $1,100 a month. That's basically the short version of the entire story. There was a lot of factors into actually selling the car. All the parts that I pulled off, they all sold quite quickly on Kijiji and Facebook Marketplace to local people around the area with F80 M3s. So they got a good deal on the parts for sure. I nowhere near made back what I spent on all the parts, but it's okay. They went to good homes, people that are going to enjoy it and make their M3s super nice. Now for the name change, HQ Garage. Obviously I don't have a BMW anymore, but I promise you one day we will have another BMW in the garage. I love the brand, I love the cars, and I will have another one day. But in the meantime, for those who've known me for a long time, prior to YouTube, when we were just getting into the BMW scene, I remember sitting with the Bavarian Brigade at a restaurant downtown, and they all asked me what, if I didn't have a BMW, what would be my dream vehicle that I would want to own. And it was a 1972 GMC pickup truck. My dad had the same vintage 67 to 72 GMC when I was growing up, and I just have so many memories with that truck, and I honestly wanted that truck. I love the grill, I love the lines, and to me it's one of the trucks that I always dreamed of owning. Because I sold the BMW, I made some money off it. I got some money for all the parts that I sold. I ended up buying not a 72, but I did end up finding a 1971 GMC C1500. It is very, very similar to the truck that my dad had. I'll post some ads right now of what the truck looked like when I found it on Kijiji. It doesn't look like anything spectacular, but when I went further into the photos, I seen the picture of the frame. I'll post it right now and show you guys what I'm talking about. So here are some of the photos that the original ad had. Obviously the truck has a fairly nice stance. It's not the greatest thing to look at, but then I got to these frame photos and realized this guy has put some serious work into the frame and basically making it from frame down all completely brand new. I went and seen the truck, and the instant the truck roared and come to life, my wife even said I just had a huge smile on my face, ear to ear. And to me, there's nothing that sounds better than Chevy or a V8 with that just pure American muscle rumble. So before I show the entire truck, I do have another Instagram you can go and follow just for the truck, which is HQ GMC, which kind of ties in with the entire HQ garage on YouTube. That will give me the capabilities of basically I can work on any car, bring a lot more content to the channel, and not just being BMW orientated. I know that a lot of the subscribers that I have right now are from the BMW community, and I hope you guys stick with me and continue the journey. Like I said, I will have another BMW one day, but right now the biggest thing with the truck is that I know it's going to take me more than one winter to complete it, which, as you guys know from watching the videos, it's the build process that I enjoy the most of the builds. So knowing that this one's going to take me several years, that to me is fascinating. But also, because there's so much work already done to it, it's basically a drivable project. So I can drive it and enjoy it, but still be able to work on it. So like I said, it's not much to look at right now. These trucks are notorious for the rear cab corners. These parts right here get all rusted out, and these parts all in here, they get all rusted out. Well, the previous owner has already replaced the rockers, the inner rocker, and the cab corners. That's a huge job, and that was also a bonus for buying the truck, because basically a lot of the hard work has already been completed. The truck has a Chevy 350. It's out of an 80s truck, so it's a little bit newer, but it's still got the carburetor on there, which has been a bit of a learning curve, and it's honestly simple. There's no computers, there's just air, spark, and fuel. The interior is also extremely basic. Currently there's no carpets or flooring in here. It's just got some couple of old bucket seats. There used to be a bench before the 5-speed went in. This 5-speed is from a 2002 S10. So the interior definitely needs some work, and that's going to be one of the things that I'm going to focus on over the winter is to make the interior look really nice. It's also got a completely brand new wiring harness all installed in here, which is gonna need some cleanup. It's got a GPS enabled speedometer, so it doesn't have the factory gauges, which I think I want to revert back to the factory gauges and just make it look close to OEM as possible. My ideal build with this would be, I want to make it like a retro mod, so looking kind of similar to OEM, but better stance, nicer wheels, and just overall a clean, nice driving truck. The gas tank was originally behind the seats. It sat up in this little pocket here, which when I bought the truck, it was running, it was a driver, and I drove it home. However, when I was driving it home, the truck kept stalling. I originally thought it was flooding, but the more that I paid attention to the truck and noticed that there is a fuel pressure gauge on the engine right in front of the carburetor, which that right there is the fuel pressure gauge. And the biggest thing I noticed that was as you drove more and more and more, the PSI would drop and drop and drop and drop. This made me believe that it needed a new fuel pump, which is a mechanical fuel pump. It's not electric. It runs off the engine and it's a mechanical pump. So it's fairly simple and typically they don't fail, but I figured maybe it did. So I ordered a new fuel pump, and in the meantime I found out it hadn't shipped yet, and so I decided to investigate a little further. Ended up opening up the fuel tank and it was just full of rust. It was just clogging the filter with rust and just wouldn't let the truck get enough fuel to keep running. So I removed the fuel tank from behind the seats, which is the one thing that I wanted to do anyway, and I relocated it into behind the rear differential under the box. So I ordered a 69 Mustang fuel tank, and it fits nicely up here in between the frame rails. 20-gallon tank, and it's got a sending unit on the front. I put new fuel lines all the way up to the front, as well as new filters. This seal that goes in here where the drive shaft slides into, that seal was leaking, so I've pulled the drive shaft, ordered a new seal, and hopefully that'll be here in the next couple days so we can get the drive shaft put back in. It currently has no exhaust. We need to find an exhaust for it. It's got aftermarket headers on the 350, which helps make it sound like a beast. Here's an example of what I'm talking about when I say all new bushings, bolts, everything has been replaced. It's just the incredible amount of work that has already been put into the truck. The truck comes with some 3-piece NK wheels, 15-inch. These are brand new BFG Goodrich tires, 295 wide on the rear. You can see those are some serious meat. And on the front, we have 215s with a little less dish on the front wheels. So I just changed the spark plugs, which were incredibly easy, and thankful to Rock Auto because getting new spark plugs from them, I think they were like $3 a piece. I also changed the PCV valve, which is the crankcase ventilation. That was like $2 or $3. The biggest thing that I found coming to a 50-year-old truck is the parts, the replacement parts, and just everything you need. There's a huge assortment, and it's also like not as expensive as a modern day car, which is kind of relieving on the pocketbook. We also have some new door locks because the ones that we got for the truck, we didn't get a key. So we got new door locks. Obviously I changed the spark plugs. We got a new air cleaner. This one is very little, as you can see on the box. It's fairly thick, but it's also super dirty. I thought I would just go with a bigger black one. We also got a new fuel pump. We've got an electric fuel pump, just in case. I also ordered all brand new lenses for the truck. I think this is the only good one. This taillight one is broken. This backup one I think is okay. This one is non-existent. That one is broken. This one is broken. Also, that one is broken as well. So I got all new lenses. One of the big things that is going to be the most challenging on the truck, it's fairly mechanically sound, which is a positive thing. Although the engine, transmission, that kind of work is, I can't say simple, but it's something that I understand, and it's something that I originally grew up first with cars, being carbureted and not fuel injected and all that stuff. But the biggest challenge is going to be the body work. There are some pretty good dings. This was actually a crease, so they welded this bar on here, and then you use a slide hammer like this, and you can hook it in there and pull the dent out. There's another one here. We also have some holes in the box. We've got some cracks around the pockets. You know, some denting, some rust in the tailgate, a few more dents in the back of the box. This box side is actually not too bad. I think that'll be fairly fixable. Thankfully the cab, like I said, most of the cab corners and rockers have already been fixed. This fender has had a replacement panel put down here and down there. That one has been fixed. This fender also overall is in pretty decent shape. This fender isn't too bad. There's some rust spots here. This whole portion of the fender is not sitting right. It's kind of been crushed in, and also up front here, this is all flattened and not looking sharp like the other side. Thankfully, here in Alberta, we have a company called Scott's Super Trucks, and they specialize in all pre-72 pickup trucks. Basically everything you need We stopped by yesterday on our way home from Edmonton, and I actually picked up a brand new driver's front fender. So I'm not going to even bother trying to fix this fender. We're just going to change it out. With changing out that fender, one of the things I'm kind of really excited about learning is learning how to weld. I've tried a little bit of stick welding, and I had a buddy who had a MIG welder, and I tried his MIG welder before and just completely botched it. I have no idea what I'm doing. This is very, very, very new to me, but I figured there's no time like the present to start learning. So we went and picked up a brand new Lincoln Electric 180 MIG welder. It comes with all the accessories to start welding, which it does MIG and flux core welding. The flux core is basically welding without the gas. There's a special shielding on the wire that helps you weld. The downfall with this is the wire is thicker and it does not do as clean of a job. With the gas welding, you get to use a finer wire for smaller detailed work, but you also have to buy a bottle of gas. Between the bottle, the gas, and this 2 pounds of wire was $388. So kind of expensive, but I think the end result of the welding is just going to be that much nicer. And when I need to go fill the bottle again, I think he told me it's going to be about $80, and I just take this bottle and they give me a brand new one that's filled, and I just get to keep swapping them. So that's pretty convenient. So I imagine for our first time we're probably going to go through a bottle quite quickly, but no big deal. It's part of the learning curve, and because we're swapping out fenders, I'm going to use this front driver's fender for practice. I can work on welding this fender, getting it fixed up, and who knows, if it looks nice enough, maybe we can resell it and recoup some of our cost, or I'm just going to totally destroy it when trying to learn how to weld. So we got some big plans for the truck. It's going to be a ton of work, but I am super excited. Just gonna slowly pick away at it, and come springtime, I'm hoping to have it running 100% mechanically perfect. All the leaks should be fixed. The gas tank's new, so that's all nice. Just get it running really, really, really well, and I want to focus on the interior as well as some of the body work. If we can have a nice interior and it running properly by next spring, I'll be super happy with that. Sorry, there was a lot of rambling and a lot of chatting going on there. Hopefully you guys have all stick to this point in the vlog. I appreciate all your guys' support, and I look forward to this build. Hopefully I don't lose a whole bunch of subscribers because I've changed platforms, but do remember I will be back into a BMW one day. I just am going to take this process of building the truck and enjoy it for the time being. Here are some videos of the truck running and driving, and just some ear candy for your ears of what the truck sounds like. Drop a comment below. Let me know what you guys think of the truck. Are you excited to watch the build? Is it not your cup of tea? Either way, I look forward to it, and thanks for watching. Please like, comment, subscribe. Peace.